Hi everyone, it's the Tombatal here, and welcome to the first of many Tombatal's Top 10 videos. This is a follow-up video to the link that you see there on the screen, assuming I remember to add it. So make sure you watch that video first. Okay, so Blood Bowl is one of those games I think I've become associated with. It's pretty important to me, as you know, pretty much I got my start here on YouTube because of it. So hearing that a sequel is coming out, it's being produced, it's pretty exciting stuff to me. Problem here is that there's not really anything for me to get excited about, nothing for me to speculate about. All that's been released is a trailer, two guys talking, goblin falling over. You've seen this. And that's not really anything for me to kind of grip onto. I've got one picture of a guy, pre-generated guy, looks nice, he's kicking a ball, that's all I know. Holy shit, look at that grass texture. Oh my god. Wait a second. There's no blood on that grass. That's not real Blood Bowl texture. So pretty much what I got to do all day by myself is just think about how good this game could be. How great. So anyway, without further ado, these are the top 10 features that I want to see in Blood Bowl 2. Why top 10? Well, I think by now, if you've been watching these top 10 videos, you probably know why. I mean, it's no big mystery here, but really honestly, it's because it makes for a really catchy title, don't you think? Number 10. Better multiplayer, and this is lower on the list. It's probably the lowest I'm going to put on the list because it's most likely going to be addressed anyways, so there's not really much for me to talk about. This is going to be in the sequel no matter what I say, because you can't really make a modern PC game anymore and not have Steam integration. I mean, it's gonna be done for any kind of big release. I mean, it's even being done with small indie games these days. It's kind of something you gotta have if you're gonna have multiplayer. And in the first game, you had admittedly an afterthought of a multiplayer system until you got leagues and Steam integration on the PC. It got introduced. It was something like trying to join a secret club. You're trying to get into these private servers, you know. It's like you got to get your buddy's name, you got to get their father-in-law, their birthday, your social security, everything, you know. So it was pretty difficult, and it still kind of is, you know, not 100%. I just hope that they focus this time on it, and we get a, you know, something cheap, something simple, let this connect to the games. You know what would be really nice? Spectator mode would be pretty cool too. Being able to just jump into anybody's game, maybe some extras playing, and see how they play. Maybe you want to see how a race works in a game, like see how the goblins might play in multiplayer, kind of give you a little heads up before you start trying them out. That'd be a pretty neat feature to add. I'm all in support of that. And league integration. You know, let's the friends play with the friends, elitists play with the elitists, segregate everybody in the community, and that's really what makes people happy. That's all that we need. Number 9. Better dynamic, varied commentary. You know, this sounds like a no-brainer here. It's a sports game. Audio is notoriously pretty shitty. It's always terrible. I mean, you can look at the Madden series for proof of that shit. And because this is a thinking man's game, this is strategy, announcers are pretty important. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of air to fill. When every single play in the game, it lasts about 3 minutes. There's lots of things that need to be said to keep things interesting while people are just kind of walking about. And there's plenty of fluff and wackiness to quote and keep things interesting, you know. So the first one was pretty bad as far as commentary went. This is something myself I started mimicking and parroting in my Let's Play. As much as I liked it at the beginning, before too long I started to just, you know, I dreaded those voices playing. After thousands of hours, you start to just know what they're gonna say, what they're gonna drone on about. You know, the events that make these ad-lib bits start playing, you hear it and oh god, you just want to stop. You want to stop making the moves in the game that are going to create this noise coming out. And so, no more of that. Hopefully, the voice actors are a lot better. We'll get some play off them. They'll sell a lot more interesting, a lot less canned, and hopefully we'll get some more varied bits coming from the two. Start to use them in more interesting ways. And personally, I could use a lot less triggers to hit speeches and more, veritable audio, so it sounds a lot more fluid, a lot more natural, you see. So once in a while, especially, if the players take them a lot of time, then maybe you can start using those stories. You can start, throwing on the canned natural voicing. You can start making that. There once was a 3 little bears and the big bad chaos came and killed them all, or something like that. And I think that's how the tale goes. Number 8. More races at the beginning of launch is something that's going to be pretty damn important to us. I mean, in the original game, I think you got 6 or 8 races. You got humans, dwarves, of course. You got to have humans and dwarves together. You got orcs, which is basically humans with tusks and green teeth. You got, a couple of elves, and I think that was about it. And then from there, they started adding on more and more races, of course. To be able to get to all 22, got to keep adding them. And so after a while, they went ahead and got all 22, but the way they did that, I don't particularly like. They spent years, it took years and years of expansions to get us to the point we're at now with the Chaos Edition. I think it's kind of bullshit. If you're going to develop a race, you already have the floor plans, you already have the models. Just get us the races that we want to play. And I'm usually kind of, advocate of DLC, but I think in this case we kind of need it. You can't just be releasing an expansion every year and have us just keep gobbling this shit up. Get the base game, gives you the engine, what to work with, and then from there, just start adding DLC every, a couple of dollars for every race, and all the units inside. And I think that would keep people happy, because not everybody wants to play halflings, not everybody wants to play Amazon. So let us just make those choices for ourselves. Let's buy the races that we want to play, and maybe save a beck or two for all the joke races and bullshit that we don't want to play.